course with you, but as always, before we do, we need to see where we're starting and where we're ending up so we have a clear path to succeeding. So let's see what this course will look like for you. We're first going to start off with creating our hacking lab. Now don't worry, whether you're on Windows, Mac, or Linux, you're going to be able to follow, because what we'll do is use something called a virtual machine to install Kali Linux, which is often used with ethical hacking, onto our machine so that we can simulate and create our hacking environment. Don't worry, all the tools we're going to use is free, and you're going to be able to set up your computer in a way to follow the rest of the course. And you're also going to have a professional setup. We're also going to cover some basics on hacking, some fundamentals and principles that's going to set us up for success later on in the course. Then we have an optional part. For those that really want to get into programming as well, and possibly programming some of our projects later on in the course, we're going to teach you Python from scratch, or if you know Python already, as a refresher, so that you can also learn an extra pair of skill set for some harder projects that we have in the course. Then we get into the fun part. And the first step we're going to dive into after we have our hacking lab and some of our programming skills sharp is reconnaissance. Here is where we learn what we call footprinting, or in other words, information gathering. Once we choose our target, our first task is to gain as much information about the target as possible. We're going to talk about IP addresses, about the Whois tool, the WhatWeb stealth scan, finding usernames, building an email scraper tool, and other tools available to us to gather as much information as possible. From there, we go into scanning, and this is where things get real. In this section, we gather information on some of the technical information that we can acquire from a target. For example, if they have open ports, if they have these ports, and if any of this be using the powerful nmaps to vulnerability and execute anything we want, even at the end as an ethical.
Hacking Lab Python 1.01 Reconnaissance Scanning Vulnerability Analysis Export and Gaining Access Post Exploration Man in the Middle Web Pen Testing.
Doing a mix and how attackers might use it to finish the course, doing challenges together, so you can have back. Hey there, this is Andre. You're about to dive into the course. But here's the truth. Most people won't finish this course. Why? It's because doing a course from the comfort of your home is going to take something away that is one of the most critical parts of doing anything challenging and worthwhile. Accountability. It's a lot harder to stop going to elementary school than to stop watching an online course, right? But here's the thing. There is a way to guarantee right now that you will finish the course and you will get through the ZTM courses no matter how hard they get. And trust me, it's going to get hard because we want to teach you really valuable skills, and they are valuable because they're hard to acquire. And this is why you're here. If you don't finish the course, it's a waste of your money. But if you finish the course, we truly believe it will get you the skills that you want. So this is what you're going to do that might put you outside your comfort zone, but it will be extremely effective in increasing your chances of success. Ready for it? You're going to come join our online classroom. In the next lecture, I'll provide a private link only for ZTM students. In there are 3 things I will ask you to do. 1 is to introduce yourself to the community. You can share as little or as much as you want about yourself. I'm going to finish X course by this date, and put that date in your calendar too. Number 2, go to Accountability Buddy's channel. Oh, that's a mouthful. And find someone who is starting a ZTM course right now at the same time. It doesn't have to be the same course, and you can have multiple partners. You're going to make sure that you each finish the course and the goals you set out to do.
ให้ด้วยเข้าไป introduce แล้วก็สามารถที่จะแบบว่าหา partner.
Finally, number 3.
So, where is Discord? Hello เก็บอันนี้ครับ Discord Community ZTM Discord นะ Open Source Project LinkedIn Group Coding Challenge อ๋อโฆษณาเหรอ Joy Hour Online Course
Hang out in the
How
lecture.
Community Private Discord Server Joy Academy นะ Lifetime Annually อะไรวะ ก็กูซื้อคอร์สมึงแล้ว
I'll provide a private chatting.
Okay.
This is simply a fact of learning. When you learn your skills, when you finish silly, you may say that you don't need anybody. Success to community.
Before I do click the excited to install one here on join power join now. Okay. Yep. So what next? I go to introduction and share video from it. Why you should do Discord. Okay. Copy. So next one. No. Copy. Paste. key
Welcome to the complete ethical hacking course. In this course, we will be covering everything you need to know as an ethical hacker, from theory to the practical examples. We will start with basics first, and the further we go in the course, the more intermediate and advanced stuff we will
theory กับมันเลยอะ theory ทฤษฎี
cover. Knowing theory and practicing different attack methods that we will learn will eventually make you a master in ethical hacking. But wait a second. We just started the course and I'm already talking about being a master in ethical hacking. Let's slow down a little bit. What even is ethical hacking? And what does an ethical hacker do? Or you might also wonder, can I get in trouble by doing this? Don't worry. Remember, we are ethical hackers. This means we are hired to hack into a network or a device, or in general, we want to find as many vulnerabilities inside the target system, but not to do bad things. Quite opposite, we want to secure them. An ethical hacker who is hired to find as many vulnerabilities in a certain system is also known as a white hat hacker. Now, I mentioned a word system quite a few times by now. What do I mean by finding vulnerabilities in a system? Well, system can be anything. It can be a network of multiple computers, or it could be just one single computer. It could also be some company's server that they keep their important data on. We could also be targeting a web page or a website. A vulnerability, on the other hand, is anything that could allow someone to have an unauthorized access to that system. We are there to discover them
hi back 4 hi
and secure them. But why are we doing this? Well, as you know, there are the bad guys, or also known as black hat hackers.
ดีครับ
Their goal is also to find vulnerabilities in a system but not to secure them. Instead, they want to perform malicious activity once they gain access to that system. That is difference with
เอาใหม่
hack
ไม่ได้
guys it multiple now computers, or it could be just one key a website. Have an unowned secure them. Their goal is instead to a system. The person that hired him, think of us hacker on the data, or as far as white hat, we as white hat system, a certain company, you'd have large servers and databases holding important company data. And as we already know, our goal is to make sure that data is secured from cyber attacks. That also employees and their machines are also in a secure network, and that website doesn't have any bugs that could present a threat to that company. How do we do all of this? Well, we do it by attacking the company. we act as a black hat hacker would, but with a different goal. Okay, but here we come to another problem.
เขา
With
บอก
a
ว่า
different
เราทำเหมือนแบ็คแฮทนะก็คือ เราจะทำตัวเหมือนคนเหี้ยคนหนึ่งที่จะไปเจาะหรือว่าโจมตีระบบเขานะแต่ว่า different
goal.
เป็นจุดหมายที่แตกต่างเราทำเพื่อ
Okay,
ที่จะ
but here we
หาช่องโหว่แล้วก็แก้มันซะ
come to another problem. You might be wondering, well, how am I going to learn this? Or how am I going to practice this?
เขาบอกว่าเราจะฝึกยังไงเราจะเรียนยังไงวะ
I just said that we need a permission to attack any system, right? Well, don't worry. We will simulate all of these
ด้วยการ
targets
จำลอง
with the help
target
of our home devices.
with the help of our ด้วยdevice ที่
And
มีอยู่บ้าน
also
นะ
with the help of virtual machines.
แล้วก็ virtual machine เหมือนกันก็คือเปิด Windows
It will be
ว่า
exactly the
Linux
same,
เอาไว้
just
อะไร
this
อย่าง
way
นั้น
you won't be breaking any law while you practice, since the targets
ก็
that
คือตอนการ
to
เรีย
be
นเราจะ
trusted
ไม่
login page into
Okay.
entering some of your private data,
track you into entering of your private
such as usernames and passwords, into a web page that isn't to be trusted. This is one of the ways how they steal online accounts.
อันนี้เป็นอีกหนึ่งอย่างที่
Let me show you.
ที่จะขโมย username password บนเครื่องของคนอื่นแต่ว่าต้องไปที่หน้าเครื่องเขา
Here I have two Twitter login pages. One of these two that you can see right here is a
Yeah,
fake
check
login page, and the other one is real. Let's take a quick look at them. So let's take a look at the first one. Here it is. And if we take a look at the second one, they appear to be exactly the same, right? Have you
ก็คือทั้งสองหน้า
figured
ไม่
out
เหมือนกัน
which one is real and which one is fake?
โอเคอันไหนเขาถามว่าอันไหนมันของจริงอันไหนของปลอม
The first one that we saw
ตรงนี้จะสุดๆแล้ว IP ไม่มีอันนี้เขาเรียกอะไรวะเขาเรียกว่าอะไรสักอย่าง Certificate คาวแฟร์ ECC โอเค
is the fake login page, while the second one right here is real one. Let's mention some of the obvious reasons why this page right here that you're looking at is a fake login page that can be used to steal
อันนี้เป็น fake ที่สา
your
มารถ
account.
ว่าขโมยข้อมูลได้
Even though they are identical at first glance, if we take a closer look, we can see it doesn't really have twitter.com as the website name. Instead, we have some random IP address in our search tab, and this is the biggest indication that this page is indeed a fake page and that you shouldn't enter any private information here. The original page should be twitter.com. Another thing we can notice is that next to the website name, on a real page, we have this green lock right here.
ไอ้เขาพูดให้เข้าใจง่ายนะคือกี่ล็อกแต่ผมน่าจะรู้อยู่แล้ว
This green lock indicates that this is an HTTPS page, or in other words, and they want
Secure Connection ตัวนี้หมายความว่าไงเวลาที่เรากรอกข้อมูลอะไรไปหรือว่าอะไรที่มันส่วนตัวเอาง่ายๆก็ทุกอย่างที่เกิดการ transfer
don't have this
ระหว่างเซิร์ฟเวอร์ใคร
green
จะ
lock
ถูก encrypt
lock right here. However,
how
these
happened?
two can be forged in a more advanced phishing attack. And just to compare, our fake login page doesn't have this green lock. If we click right here, it says connection is not secure. And even though many of you probably knew these things to the end here, on the course answer your any new course updates and how these attacks work. On the course, we will learn not only how to secure ourselves from these attacks and how these attacks work,
ก็คือเขาจะสอนว่า
to secure
จะเรียนว่า
ourselves from these attacks,
เราจะป้องกันยังไงแล้วก็มันเจาะยังไง
and how these attacks will join us out.
ไม่ใช่เจาะ
Nonetheless,
มันโจมตียังไงโอเคไปแล้วกลัวI got it Okay, course result บอกไง we are going to be using a lot of ethical hacking tool in this course so to make it easy for you we have a compile or the software project and resource we use in this course into document attached to this lecture so you can always use it as a reference and as a guide you go along in this course enjoy โอเคอันนี้คือ resource ที่เขามีให้นะ ระหว่างที่เรียนต้องโหลดมาเก็บไว้เขาจะมีทุกอย่างให้หมดเลยทั้ง tools อุปกรณ์นะครับแล้วก็พวกซอฟต์แวร์โปรเจกต์หรือว่าทรัพยากร resource ก็แบบอันแหละอะไรที่ควรจะต้องมีว่านี่มีนะ for information getter อันนี้ถ้าจะเป็นบทของเขาที่ดูตอนแรก information getter คืองานเก็บข้อมูลเนาะเพราะว่าเวลาจะแฮกเราต้องรู้ว่า target ของเราคือใครกลุ่มเป้าหมายคือใครนะครับไม่งั้นเราจะยากต่อไปคือ scanning vulnerable analysis โอเคเราก็จะเรียนตามนี้ไปเลยตั้งแต่อันแรกอันนี้ก็โหลดมาเก็บไว้ ethical hacking ขอ hack โอเคมันก็จะแยกโฟลเดอร์ไว้โอเคเดี๋ยวเพิ่งแยกก็ได้มันยังไม่เยอะก็คัดไปresource บวก guides ไป
Hey everybody, welcome to your ZTM course.
CTM
Now,
course
as part of being a ZTM student, you get to have a couple of nice freebies, a little bonus, a little extras that all the students that are part of ZTM get. Let me show you some of the extra things you get as part of this course. First off, we already talked about it, but we have a pretty big community of tech enthusiasts. You can serve cheat sheets. Now, these cheat sheets that is related to your course that you want to check out. Let's say we want to check out the job, follow along at every month. And so you can check it. We're always overwhelmed. We try to make it easily that we can. Now we're going to also check out sort of skill free. Is that we have a link course each other's skill. People are in profile, different, all of these. So enjoy.
โอ้โหขั้นเยอะชนะเยอะ
Okay,
ขั้นโฆ
so
ษณาเยอะ
what
เกิน
fully understand what it is within our physical computer that is using its hardware. All of us, Windows or Mac OS. I doubt anyone will be running Linux, but nonetheless, these are the three main ones.
เมื่อกี้แปลว่าไหน
Yes, I doubt anyone
แปลอย่างไรก็ตาม otherwise
will be running Linux, but nonetheless, these are the three main ones. But what if we wanted to run two different operating systems on the same machine? Can we do that? For example, let's say you have Windows installed on your physical machine, but you want to install Linux too. Or even better case, you want to install 5 operating systems running on different virtual machines. Can you do that? You can.
โอเคก็คือเราลง Windows ก็จริงแต่ว่าเราสามารถนะครับที่จะลงระบบปฏิบัติการอันอื่นได้ซึ่งจะลงใน virtual machine นะ
How would that?
ก็คือรันบนเครื่องเราแหละแต่ว่าเครื่องเราจริงๆคือ Windows สามารถมันจะมีโปรแกรม
Work?
ที่สามารถ
Well,
ทำ
picture
ให้
it
เราเปิด virtual machine ขึ้นมาได้เป็น
like
OS
this. Imagine these 4 lines representing our computer. And we already know that any computer will have one of the 3 main operating systems: Windows, Mac OS, or Linux. But operating system is not the only thing defining our machine. Our machine also has its computer parts. We have hard disk, processor, RAM memory, motherboard, and many more computer parts that with the operating system make our machine work. These computer parts are also known
โอเคคือ operating system ก็คือ OS นะครับมันจะมี Windows Linux อีกอันหนึ่งอันนี้ทำไม่ได้Mac จะมีเขาเรียกอะไรคือ Mac OS หรือว่า OS วะ iOS นั่นแหละพวกเนี้ยคือคอมพิวเตอร์พาร์ทของเราซึ่งถ้ามันจะทำงานได้แสดงผลได้เล่นเกมดูทำจริง whatever มันจะต้องมี OS ก่อนซึ่งหมายความว่าเราไม่จำเป็นต้องมี OS แค่อันเดียวนะ Windows เราสามารถลงอันอื่นร่วมได้นะเพราะว่าทั้งหมดนั้นก็เป็น
as hardware.
ปฏิบัติการที่ทำให้ฮาร์ดแวร์เราทำ
But wait a second, Alexa. Is this? Thought this was a lecture on explaining how virtual machines work, and not on hardware components. Picture a virtual machine. To be, we will install Linux. Since virtual machine CPU into 2 hardware resources, well, technically yes, but it will not be noticeable for us. However, the more powerful your PC is, more virtual machines it will be able to run effectively. Another important thing is that one
effective
you shut down, you're able to run effectively. Resources used by it will get freed back. Other benefits that we will be doing a lot of things. We're doing it first. Machines is that if, for example, locked out of our machine starts getting some annoying error, or we get locked out of our files, or simply we delete a file that we shouldn't have deleted and it crashes our virtual machine. But what if we, for example, get infected by a malware or virus by accident? Or we simply just install the wrong version of operating system, which we don't need. Don't worry. With 2 clicks, we can delete the entire virtual machine with all of its files and it will have no effect on our physical machine. Then we can proceed to create a new one for as many times as we want. We can also create something called a snapshot, which will allow us to save the current state of a virtual machine, and with it, we can revert it back to that state whenever we want. This could be used if we, for example, run into some errors with our virtual machine. Sounds cool, right? Now that we know how virtual machines work, we need an operating system, saying virtualization machine, to borrow hardware components to run lectures. We're going to see exactly we can or a single machine. So with these two combined, we can create our virtual machine, and in the next few lectures, we're going to see exactly how to do that. See you there.
Bye.
Before we actually proceed to creating our virtual machine that we will use for hacking, I believe most of you are wondering, why Linux?
เนี่ยอันนี้ผมสงสัยเหมือนกันนะว่าทำไมถึงต้องเป็น Linux วะเวลาจะแฮก
Are we installing a Linux operating system on a virtual machine? Can't we hack using Windows or Mac OS? Well, yes we can, but Linux is something far better for that.
คือ Linux เป็นอะไรที่
So
ดีกว่า
what are the benefits of using Linux?
ซึ่งก็ไม่
First
ว่า
thing that's
เดี๋ยว
great
ผม
about
อธิบาย
Linux is that it is an open source operating system. This means that we can inspect the code of it and see how it is made and what programs or functions it runs. It can be used for any type of work, not only for hacking. Many programmers also use Linux. Many servers all around the world
ใช่
are running on
เซิร์ฟเวอร์
Linux.
ส่วนมากใช้ Linux
And
หมด
another great thing about
อย่างของผม Away from Us ก็
it is that most of the Linux distros are free of cost.
ตัวแรงเหมือนกัน
Maybe some of you have heard about
ฟรี
Ubuntu,
ด้วย
Linux
ไม่เสีย
Mint,
ตังค์
or Debian. Well, to use an updated Windows operating system, you must pay for a license.
อ่า
Linux, on the other hand, is free to download for anyone. And not only that, but it also, due to it being an open source, it allows the users of Linux to edit, copy, or distribute various aspects of Linux-based operating system without violating any copyright law or terms and conditions. This is one of the main reasons hackers use Linux, because they can easily develop softwares used for hacking and penetration testing on Linux, and they can change and edit the operating system for their needs. It is also very light, requires lesser disk space, consumes lesser RAM in order to run, so it can be easily ran alongside any other operating system like Windows and Mac OS. And last but not least is that, as we mentioned, due to Linux being an open source and allowing anyone to change and interact with the operating system, it allows people to create an operating system that will specifically be made for one purpose, such as, for example, ethical hacking or penetration testing. And Linux distros like this already exist. There are Linux distros called Kali Linux, Parrot, Backtrack, and others that are especially made for penetration testing and checking for security loopholes. And all of them are widely being used by hackers. And in this course, we will be using Kali Linux, one of the Linux distros specially created for hackers and penetration testers. What's great about it is that it automatically comes after installation with a bunch of different tools used by penetration testers for hacking. And we're going to cover those tools and go step by step through them. Plus, we'll be installing tools. Will that be? Which Linux distro are we going to install? And our
คือ Linux เป็น Open Source นะ Windows มันไม่ได้ Open Source ขนาดนั้นแล้วก็อย่างที่สองก็คือมันฟรีเมื่อเขาเปรียบเทียบให้ดูก็คือ Windows เวลาจะอัปเดตทีหนึ่งนะก็ต้องเสียค่าไลเซนส์หรือว่าจะซื้อมาใช้ก็ต้องเสียค่าไลเซนส์ส่วนมากจะโหลดเถื่อนกันในไทยส่วน อันที่3ก็คือดีสำหรับ developer นะเพราะมัน open source ไงเราแก้ไขระบบมันได้เรา edit เราอ่านได้หมดเลยสุดท้ายก็คือมันมี Kali Linux นะก็คือเป็น Linux ที่อันนี้ไม่แน่ใจมากผมเข้าใจถูกไหมแต่เขาบอกว่ามันดีสำหรับแฮกเกอร์มาก
Own
เพราะว่ามันมี
hacking
tool
tools.
ที่ใช้เยอะ
How cool will that be? Now that what are the benefits of using Linux? In the next video,
เรียนเคลียร์เอาไม่ชินโอเค
we-
ต่อไปเราจะไปสร้าง virtual machine lab ของเรานะครับโอเคมันนี่โค้ดชาเลนจ์ฟรีดีซอสแอนด์ไกด์โอเคแต่ละเดือนก็จะมีโค้ดชาเลนจ์ให้เล่นไม่ช่วย happy me setting you นี่โอเคอันนี้อะไรเขาแค่บอกเฉยๆว่าโอเคทุกเดือนมีนะอย่าลืมเปิด
welcome back. So we have talked about virtualization software and Kali Linux in the previous lecture, and now is the time that we finally start creating our virtual machine. Now, to do that, remember we need two things. We need the virtualization software and the operating system that we're going to install. So for the virtualization software, we will use VirtualBox. Now, to navigate to VirtualBox page, you can simply just type VirtualBox in your Google search bar, or you can simply just navigate to the link virtualbox.org. Once you navigate to that link, it will open this page where you will be prompted to download the newest version of VirtualBox, which is currently 7.0. Now, the one that we use in the course is, I believe, 6.0.
Now the one that you use in the course is I believe 6.0 นะก็คือมันไม่7.0 แต่
But
ว่า
feel free to
เขาจะ
download
ใช้7.0 แต่ว่าเขาบอกว่าไม่เป็นไรก็ใช้เวอร์ชัน
the newest version at the point of you watching this tutorial. If there is, for example, VirtualBox 7.2, feel free to download the newest version.
โอเค Virtual Box นะครับโหลดโอเค
Okay, so to download it, we simply click on this download VirtualBox, and we will have several options here depending on the operating system that our host machine is running. Now, since I'm on Windows 11, I will click on Windows hosts, but if you're on Linux, you would go with Linux distributions. For Intel macOS, you would go for this, but since I'm using Windows 11, I will click on Windows. Now, it's for you, while Linux official page to download it, you want to navigate to Kali Linux official page to download the Kali Linux operating system.
มี
To do that,
VirtualBox
once
นะ
again,
เพราะว่า
simply
มัน
just
จะได้
type
เอาไว้รันเขาเรียกว่าอะไร virtual machine นะแล้วก็โหลดมาลงซะแต่ว่าผมเอาไว้ได้อื่นได้ไหมได้ดีได้ไหมแล้วก็โปรแกรมเดี๋ยวนะ Oracle VirtualBox Oracle VirtualBox CMD โปรแกรม Oracle VirtualBox โอเค Warning Network Interface Installer Networking Feature will be set Network Connection Temporarily Disconnect from your Network Proceed with Install now โอเคคือถ้าผมลงเนี่ยมันจะมีปัญหากับ Network ผมแป๊บหนึ่งเพราะฉะนั้นผมจะหายไปจากสตรีมแป๊บหนึ่งเดี๋ยวมาใหม่โอเคไป
type Kali Linux in your Google search bar, or navigate to the website kali.org. Once we visit the website, we will be prompted with a simple description of the Kali Linux operating system. So, as it says right here, Kali Linux is an open source Debian-based Linux distribution geared towards various information security tasks such as penetration testing, security research, computer forensics, and reverse.
โอเคลงเสร็จแล้วไม่รู้ว่าหลุดหรือยังนะไม่หลุดหรอโอเคKali Linux is an open source Debian based อันนี้ไม่รู้แปลว่าอะไรนะ security task such as pen testing โอเคสำหรับ security task ทำอะไรก็ได้เกี่ยวกับ security pen test security research computer
Engineering.
security research ผมรู้แค่คำเดียวนะกับ reverse engineer
I simply click on download. It will lead me to the download page for Kali Linux, where we will have several different options that we can choose from. Now, the one that we want to use for the course is the installer images. The virtual machines one will work as well, but if you want to have it exactly as we do in the course, you want to go with installer images. So I'm going to click on
ก็
installer
ต้องโหลด
images.
image installer image
And here we get the newest version, which is Kali Linux 2023.2. Once again, we're using the older version in the course, but if there is a newer version available compared to this 2023.2 at the point of you watching this tutorial, feel free to download
โอเค
the
เหมือนกัน
newest
ที่
Kali
ที่
Linux
ดาวน์โหลด
version,
ก็คือโหลด
since we
ล่าสุด
always
เป็น
create update videos for the newest Kali Linux versions. The current one is once again 2023.2, and I want to download the 64-bit installer image. Now you will notice right here that there are three options, which is 64-bit, 32-bit, and Apple Silicon, which is for M1 and M2 chip for
โหล
Mac.
ดกัน
Now since my host machine is Windows 11 64-bit, I will select 64-bit and download this installer. Just by clicking on it, it will open ISO in 1 and MCON and for cause issues for package for VirtualBox. It is rather simple to tap and you package for VirtualBox to download get UTM box. So for you, you want to navigate to getutm.app and VirtualBox. So for you, you want to navigate to getutm.app and you want to download the UTM, which is a virtualization software for Mac.
virtual software สำหรับ Mac คือจะใช้อันนี้
This will work or on else and download. You can here you will have all the previous Kali Linux that you can download. Virtual have this Kali Linux image. We're
ต่อไปงานลงนะครับผมลงไปก่อนแล้วไม่รู้ว่ามีปัญหาหรือเปล่า
welcome back. So in the last lecture we downloaded our images next to anything as well. Well, you might want to change location if you prefer a different location to this one, but it says disconnect you from the network.
นี่ไง temporary disconnect from น่าจะหลุดไป
Now
แป๊บนึ
it's
ง
just a warning that says you now any then dependency install to begin installation. Certain now in order to install certain missing depend yes install to begin. This should a minute to click on finish. We get VirtualBox window open. These machines install and we're going to create our first virtual machine.
โอเคผมต้องไปแล้ว
You
เดี๋ยว
won't
มาต่อ
have